Okay, so today we're going to be going over the 10 most essential scales for all guitar players and really all musicians in general. So we're going to start off with the most basic scale, the major scale. And today we're going to be playing everything from the starting point of the C note. So we're going to start off with a C major scale. Okay, so this is the first scale that you want to learn, and we're going to play all of these scales in 2 octaves. So here it is in the second octave. Okay, so everything is going to be derived from that major scale. So we're going to be coming back to that scale. It's a 7-note scale, and the formula for creating that scale is you start on a note, you take a whole step, another whole step, a half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, and then you finish with a half step again. So you end up on the C note, just like you started on a C note, but it's an octave higher. So that is our first scale, the C major scale. From there, what we're going to do to get our next scale is we're going to flatten one note, and we're going to get the Mixolydian scale, or the Mixolydian mode. So here is C Mixolydian. So the C Mixolydian mode is just like the C major scale, but the B has been flattened to a B flat, okay? And we're not going to get too much into where the modes come from today, but the Mixolydian mode is the 5th mode of a scale. So in this case, the C Mixolydian mode comes from the 5th note of the F major scale. But we're not going to worry about that too much today. We're just going to worry about how to create these scales. So we started off with our C major scale, and now we're on our C Mixolydian mode. So let's play that again. There's the flat 7. Back to the root. Let's play it up an octave. Okay, and since it has that flat 7th note, it works well over a C7 chord, or a C9 chord, or a C13 chord. Basically any type of dominant 7th chord. Okay, so let's move on to our next scale. We're going to change one more note, and we're going to get the C Dorian mode, or the C Dorian scale. So this time we're going to be flattening the 3rd note of the scale as well as the 7th. Okay, so the C Dorian mode is a minor scale, or a minor mode, and it has a flattened 3rd and a flattened 7th note. It has the natural 6th note, okay? So that's what makes it different from a C minor scale. So let's try that one again. Here is C Dorian. Okay, let's play it up an octave in a different position. Okay, note that flat 7th, the B flat, but the natural 6th, the A note, okay? So C Dorian is the 2nd mode of the B flat major scale. So Dorian is always the 2nd mode of a major scale. And you can play the C Dorian mode over a C minor chord, or a C minor 7th chord, C minor 9, pretty much any type of C minor chord, as long as it doesn't have the flattened 6th note. So you can play it over a regular C minor 6th chord, which would include the major 6th. That would be an A note. So the C Dorian mode fits over most C minor chords. Okay, let's keep on going to the next scale. We're going to change one more note from the C Dorian mode. We are going to flatten the 6th note, and that will give us the C minor scale, or the C Aeolian mode. Again, this is a minor scale, and it works over C minor chords. It has a flat 6, as opposed to the Dorian, which has a natural 6. So let's play that one again. And then let's play that one up an octave as well. Okay, notice that A flat in there. Here it is. There's the A flat right there, B flat, and back to C. So that's the C minor scale, or the sixth mode, which is the C Aeolian mode, okay? So the C Aeolian mode would come from the E flat major scale, because within the E flat major scale, the sixth note is C. So the sixth mode of E flat would be C Aeolian. Again, we're not going to worry too much about that. We're just going to worry about these as their own scale and how to create them as their own scale, all starting from C. Okay, so let's move on. After the C minor scale, we're going to change one more note. We're going to raise the 7th degree, and we're going to get the C harmonic minor scale. So you can see we've changed that B flat back to a B. Okay, so it's still the C minor scale, but with a raised 7th degree. So this is not a mode. This is a brand new scale, the C harmonic minor scale. Again, it will work over a C minor chord, or it will work over a C minor with a major 7th. Okay, so it won't work over a C minor 7th chord. You have to raise that 7th so it becomes a C minor major 7th. So let's play it again. Okay, and now let's play it up an octave. Has a very exotic sound to it with that B note. Now the harmonic minor scale can be used in different ways as well. You can use different modes of the harmonic minor scale, such as the Mixolydian flat 2, flat 6. I'm going to link another video where I go over that mode of the harmonic minor scale. So you can check the link above to check out that scale or that mode. So let's move on past the harmonic minor scale. We're going to raise one more note of the harmonic minor scale, and we're going to get the C melodic minor scale. This has a raised 6 or a natural 6 and a natural 7th. So as you can see, it's almost like a major scale, but it has the flattened third. So let's play that one up an octave as well. Okay, so the C melodic minor scale is very useful. It can also be played over a C minor chord or a C minor with a major 7th. It can also be played over a C6, or my bad, a C minor 6 chord. And there's another great mode of that scale. If you play the 7th mode, you get the altered scale, okay, which is great to play over dominant 7th chords that are altered, that resolve, okay? And I have another video going over different ways of playing over dominant 7th chords or altered 7th chords, and I'll link that video above as well so you can check out that one. So the next two scales, we're going to be learning the pentatonic scales, okay? So these are pretty basic. Most guitar players are probably already familiar with these. The first one we're going to learn is the major pentatonic. So let's go back to C. This one is derived from the C major scale. We have the first note, the second, the third, the 5th, and the 6th. And then back to the root. Here it is in a higher octave. So with the pentatonic scales, you can basically use them over the exact same chords that you would play the major scale over. So for example, you can play a C major scale over a C major chord or a C major 7th chord. You can also play the C major pentatonic. It's just omitting 2 notes. Okay, so it's omitting the 4th note of the major scale and the 7th note of the major scale. Now, the C major pentatonic is also the A minor pentatonic. Okay, and this deals with modes and relative minors, so we're not going to get too far into that today, but I did just want to mention that. Because the next mode, or the next scale we're going to learn, is the C minor pentatonic. Okay, so this one comes from the E flat major scale. So here's the C minor pentatonic. So it's the root, flattened 3rd, 4th, 5th, and flattened 7th. So it comes from the C minor scale. Okay, you can play this over any of your C minor chords that we talked about before, anything that you would play the C minor scale over, you can play the C minor pentatonic. So let's play that one again. And then let's play it up an octave. Okay, there you go. So our next two scales are going to be a bit different. These are going to be synthetic scales. Okay, so the first one is called the whole tone scale. You're just going to play whole steps. So let's go back to C. Let's do that again. Just whole steps. Okay, and we can continue from C. There you have it in another octave. So these scales are very interesting. You can play them over a variety of chords. You could play that scale over a C7 with a sharpened fifth or a flattened fifth. You could play it over a C9 that doesn't have a fifth in it, or again has that sharpened fifth. So you just got to pay attention to the fifth, especially because the whole tone scale does not have the natural fifth in it. It has a flattened fifth or a sharpened fifth. So you got to be careful about that one. You can also play this over some dominant seventh chords, some altered scales or some altered chords. And again, that's in that other video that I mentioned where I go over different ways of soloing over altered dominant chords. So check that one out as well. Okay, our last scale is going to be another symmetrical scale or another synthetic scale. This one is the whole half diminished scale, and it's created from taking a whole step and then a half step, whole step, half step, and you just rinse and repeat that. So starting from C. Okay, very interesting scale. This one's a bit trickier to use, but you can use it over diminished chords. So you can definitely use it over diminished chords, diminished seventh chords, diminished seventh chords that have a major seventh, so diminished major seventh chords. You can also use it over dominant seventh chords. So again, from that same video, if you check out that altered dominant video, I go over this one as well in a little bit more detail. So these are the 10 scales that every guitar player should at least be familiar with. Okay, you can spend a lot of time practicing all these different scales, and I'm gonna have a PDF available on my Patreon. So if you want to check that out, you can get the PDF on there. I also have a bunch of backing tracks. I have all kinds of stuff. So if you want to support the channel, go check out my Patreon.